people, welcome back to my channel. Let's roll the intro. For the majority of the season.
Hold on,
We got Hello, welcome back and welcome to our brand new show, mine and Andrew's new show, That Wrestling Show, where we talk everything wrestling. Andrew, what are we going to be talking about this evening? Tell everybody what we're going to be talking about.
I think we'll talk about not just WWE, AEW. They're exploding, death match, wire, barbed wire from hell, spectacular, whatever it was. Yeah, NXT, like Raw, Smackdown, Fastlane coming up, WrestleMania coming up. My thought
storylines as well.
Storylines, title changes, something like that. Who do you want? What matches you want? Because I don't know. I don't know how many matches
guys,
are even
chuck in the comments.
Do, so.
Chuck in the comments what matches, like any title changes you want at Fastlane at the matches released already, and also any matches you want to see at WrestleMania. Chuck it in the comments. Now we do have a special guest today. Now, who else? The man's changed his name, and I'm loving it already. We have one of my favorite people, as he's calling himself, Law Champion. Laurie, welcome. How are you doing?
What's going on?
Or should I say Law Champion?
Yeah,
I mean,
self-proclaimed. Jericho ain't the only one that can name titles. Have titles.
Yeah.
Le Champion. Le Champion.
Yeah, well, I'm Lord Champion.
Lord Champion. So good.
You love that.
How you doing, Laurie? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good.
Let's get into this. Let's just go straight into this. Let us get into it. We're going to talk about... I'm going to leave AEW to last because there's some big things that I want to talk and laugh about. But let's start with Raw at the minute. We had a huge title change, which actually I didn't actually see coming. Well, I kind of did, but I kind of didn't, which was Drew McIntyre lost his title to The Miz.
Yeah.
Under the impression of Bobby Lashley, who kind of had given him the go-ahead that, like, I'll help you out. He won the championship, and then Bobby Lashley is now, Universal Champion. Like,
the almighty Bobby Lashley.
I know. I'm not complaining, but I mean, I thought Drew McIntyre would kind of be a little bit longer. I thought actually that it was going to lead to, for me personally, because obviously the rumor is that Roman Reigns is going to become double champion at some point, prove his tribal head of the table kind of storyline. So I assumed that it would be Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. And I don't know if that can change in that period of time, but for me, that's how I saw the storyline going. So I didn't actually see Drew McIntyre losing it anytime soon. And Bobby Lashley as a champion is going to be dominant as hell until WWE mess him about, because you know that's about to happen. Yeah, guys, Andrew, your thoughts? What were like?
What, and Lashley? So yeah, Lashley. Anything to get. I don't think they wanted to. I think they're going to do McIntyre and Lashley at WrestleMania. And I thought they stuck it on the Miz so they wouldn't have Lashley beat McIntyre that quickly. But I like Lashley. He's very good. If you hadn't watched him when he wrestled for Impact Wrestling, he was very good as their champion over there.
Yeah,
I think he's got better. And with MVP as well, MVP is a great hype man. He's a great hype man. He can just get. Lashley doesn't have to speak a lot, sort of like Heyman and Lesnar sort of thing. And Lashley could be dominant. He could be dominant. I reckon, but if they do one against McIntyre, I want them to put a stipulation on it, like a last man standing or a street fight rule on it, something like that, because I think that'd be better for it. Because I think they could do a long drag out fight. So I like it.
Yeah, I want to see something that's not basic. I don't, because I have a gut feeling that like the Miz is somehow going to worm his way back into the title race. Which, do you know what? I'm getting a bit bored of him. I really am. I'm not even playing here. I'm so bored of the Miz. Like, I don't play with him. I'm not interested in him. Laurie, how do you feel about all this championship? You've gone from Drew McIntyre to the Miz to Bobby Lashley.
One thing I don't like hot potato with the championships. I really don't like when they do. But I can understand why they did it. Like you don't want to see a title change where Drew is going over. Lashley's going over on Drew, like on a Raw or a Smackdown. You don't want to see it on that. And to be honest with you, this has probably been one of the worst Money in the Bank years ever as well, because
it's rubbish.
I don't understand how Otis had it in the first place. I don't know about you lot, but I was never a fan of Otis in NXT. His heavy machinery did nothing for me. They did absolutely nothing. And then I know Vince McMahon likes these big guys, but they made him look like a complete jackass when they did give the Money in the Bank in the first place. So everyone thought, if you go back to Money in the Bank, you would have thought Mysterio or Aleister Black at the time was quite hot. You would have thought one of them two, they would have one of them, or AJ Styles, and they swerve us with the stupid finish in the first place of it, just falling in his knees. You just knew that this year, in terms of the Money in the Bank, it was going to be a disaster. And then the whole storyline with Miz, it was just...
Oh, don't. It annoyed me.
Miz wasn't a legitimate character anyway. Like, he wasn't... fair enough, he's good on the mic, but what else has he got? When you look at Miz,
Actually, he's not even good on the mic. He's good, like, at doing... Like, he's good at talking, but his voice just annoys me. Like,
He's not a main event, man. He's like top second tier. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would like them to see. I'd like them to have John Morrison have it, man, because he can actually put off some good matches. Do you know what I mean?
do you know what? I do want to talk about this comment quickly. Where the hell is Asuka? That is a good point. Like, she is the women's champion at the minute. And since her and Charlotte Flair, like, for me personally, the women's title hasn't been pushed enough. For me personally, like, and I'm wondering.
I think she's got a concussion.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but I'm fuming at the point that, like, the rumor is that Charlotte Flair is going to face Asuka at WrestleMania. No, I'm done. I'm sorry. I've had enough of Charlotte Flair. Like, she's incredibly talented. Don't get me wrong, but just because you're talented doesn't mean you actually are deserve a title opportunity. What I want to see at WrestleMania is Asuka versus Rhea Ripley, who's just been confirmed. Do you know what? I take that back. I'd like to see a triple threat match for the Women's Raw Championship. I want to see Rhea Ripley, Asuka, and Shayna Baszler. I feel like Shayna Baszler is quite everyone, like, doesn't really see her as a talent, but she's talented. She breaks.
She is.
They break.
What they're doing with her and Nia Jax is pissing me off so much.
Oh, don't! It's doing my nuts in.
It's pissing me off so much because Nia Jax, like, this Reginald whole, they did this before, like with Enzo Amore. Wasn't that the last time he was romantically involved with someone?
Yeah.
And then so but I don't like what they're doing with Shayna Baszler because they made her when she was in Next, they built her to be this absolute beast, animal.
Yeah, but look what they did in Elimination Chamber last year. She's been one of the only women, actually, in fact, the only woman to beat all 5 champions in the chamber to win a title opportunity. And what happened to that title opportunity? It got shoved down the drain. Like, they built her up so bad for Elimination Chamber to be this badass who, like, nobody can beat her. Like, she beat everyone from, like, Natalia, like a world-class veteran, to like people that are
Asuka.
Exactly. But this is my point. They built her up to that, and then what did they do to her? Absolutely stuck a knife in her back. And you know what? It's bugging me. Some of these like the storyline, and everyone in the comments, please give me your opinions on this. The storyline between Ric Flair and Lacey Evans, it made me want to be sick. I was like cringing. I was like, nope, I can't be watching. Nope, I can't be watching. Like,
it's really weird to contrast because they're in the same company. So it's like the Raw, what they're doing in the Raw women's division is total opposite what they're doing with the SmackDown women's division. SmackDown women's division is like, it's total night and day. And I'm not even going to add the NXT women's division because that's the best women's division. But what they're doing is like, it's very weird. It's like Charlotte Flair's back. You push her again. She's going to be around there. Do you know what I fear they're going to do? I think they're going to do a multi-women match in this. There's going to be like 6 of them, like a 6-pack or something like that.
Yeah.
And then that's what I think they're going to do. Because I don't think they've got any plans because Asuka's out with concussion, so it's as if they can build up a feud.
Yeah.
So,
but I think the problem you have is that you've always had this kind of opposition that SmackDown was the lesser show and Raw was always the main show. Raw was always the show that like you knew was there. But actually, as far as I'm concerned, SmackDown right now is for me the better show. Like I enjoy SmackDown so much more than I do like look at the talent on SmackDown. Like even though Bayley did a heel turn, I'm loving her character right now. Hello, ding dong. Who doesn't like it? You've got Roman Reigns, who's got a massive heel turn at the minute, and however much I liked Roman Reigns being good, his heel turn is bloody amazing. Yeah, do you know what? It's about the Shield. I feel like the Shield are really good at doing heel turns. You've got Seth Rollins. Look at him now. He's like, do you know what? He came back and he was like, "Oh, really nice. I've just had a baby. It's changed my life." And I thought, he's gonna come back. And then all of a sudden, it's like, and now I'm gonna run the SmackDown roster.
I'm not gonna lie though. With Seth Rollins, they've wasted him for the last year and a half.
Agreed.
Yeah.
The storylines are awful.
I think you had to kind of had awful storylines for him because you knew he was going on maternity leave. You knew he was going to go away for a few months. So there was no point. I get for the majority of the year, but for the last 6 months, there was no point in putting him in a fabulous storyline, which was going to take more than 6 months, knowing he wasn't going to be there for 2 months. And then that's a waste of a storyline for me.
But I know what they always say about kayfabe. The fact that you knew he was going to have a child, you couldn't take him seriously as this monster heel, doing all the things that he was doing, knowing he was going to be a father. For me, like, it's not his fault, but I just couldn't take the kayfabe thing seriously with him.
Yeah.
And like for me,
I just think, go on.
It's not even that I don't like Seth Rollins. It's just they don't know what to do with him.
No, and I think he's doing good stuff with. I think he's going to do good stuff with Cesaro though. I think they're going to have some awesome matches.
Yeah, they will have some matches. But why did Buddy Murphy just all of a sudden come back?
He's off television. He's off television for months. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Why? There's no explanation. Yeah, that's the whole thing. There's people Dennis champ. You're right. But back to Raw, man. I think Raw's like, you know what? Raw's my least. You know, I don't watch Raw. I think it's too long anyway. At 3 hours. 3 hours is too long. I get up the next day and I go on YouTube, and I hardly watch the highlight videos either. I just go, I can't be bothered. It's my least favorite show.
No.
When they went to switch over to 3 hours, I wasn't even excited back then. I was just like, what are they doing?
Yeah.
It's torture enough to try and watch Raw for 2 hours, let alone 3.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Now, even with the 3 hours, you hardly get any matches. What do you get? Like 2 hours, 2 matches an hour. It always starts off with the monologue that takes up the first hour. Sometimes I literally feel like I'm watching that South Park episode.
Literally.
It's not even that. The storylines on Raw are just not good. You know.
Oh, they're so
Is that-
poor, like.
This.
But if you look
get-
at it, Raw does a 3-hour show,
Yeah.
and can't perform decent shit. NXT or even SmackDown. SmackDown has a 2-hour show, and it gives me better life. It gives me better.
Yeah.
It just makes me better. Even NXT UK is, I think, an hour and 15. NXT is an hour and a half sometimes. They still fit it in. And do you know what? The storylines on NXT at the minute. Can we just talk about this, like Adam Cole going rogue? I'm loving this at the minute.
Yeah.
You've got Adam Cole going rogue. You've got Karrion Kross, an incredibly talented human being. You have who have you got? Oh, Shotzi. Shotzi is one of my
Blackheart,
her entrance is one of my favourites.
Yeah.
The mini tank is one of my favourite things. You've got you have so much. You've got Ember Moon back on there. Like you've got Finn Balor. These are two people that actually were dominating Raw and SmackDown. Actually went back to NXT because it's better. Even Charlotte Flair went back to NXT. That's got to tell you something. And for me, if you're looking at it, Triple H is doing the storylines for NXT, and Vince McMahon is doing the storylines along with Paul Heyman for SmackDown and Raw. And look at
Raw is what's his name? He used to be the Undertaker's Bruce Pritchard. That's it. Raw's Bruce Pritchard.
Oh right, yeah. But no, it's just a difference.
There's still Vince McMahon still has his influence.
He has the final say. Yeah, exactly.
Triple H has the final say in the storylines.
Basically, yeah.
Along with Shawn Michaels in NXT. And for me, the difference in storylines says a lot. I'm wondering. I think the ratings also show a lot because I feel really bad now, but I don't actually watch Raw and SmackDown anymore. Like I can't bring myself to watch more Raw than SmackDown. Raw literally just bores the shit out of me. Like I enjoyed it when Drew McIntyre first became champion. That was a cool bit. But I just used to watch that on YouTube the next day. I wouldn't actually stay up to watch it.
The biggest problem with it, as we've said, is like it's too long. 3 hours is too long. But if you're gonna do 3 hours, make them compelling and interesting. Because I remember, I think they initially added the extra hour for 205 Live, didn't they? And that just
they just added it because they reached 1,000 shows or something like that, didn't they? It's like they reached 1,000 shows and they got that extra hour. But
the problem is the matches are just the same matches every week as well. You've got they've got such a big roster, yet they're not using everyone on the roster, and it's just so frustrating.
And also, Laurie, there's no storylines. They're just matches. So there's nothing to them. Do you know what I mean? Who cares who wins and loses?
Underground go?
Oh my God! Don't get me started on that. Oh my God! Jesus Christ!
They literally put the plug on it and didn't explain what happened.
Yeah. Because it was rubbish.
I get what you mean. It's like they don't know what they want to do for WrestleMania.
No,
so it's just like let's throw some stuff together and see what happens.
Which makes me, what makes me mad? I am mad at this Fastlane pay-per-view. It's 3 weeks before WrestleMania. What's the point? What's the point?
Just to clarify, like
build up.
I'm struggling with the content for it, like Fastlane. Like I don't. Because I personally see Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks taking the titles off.
They got champions versus champions or something. Yeah, winner take all or something like
that. But then I'm wondering if the problem is that Sasha Banks has the SmackDown title. So I'm wondering if this is my theory here is that Bianca Belair will get injured in the title match. Sasha Banks will take her title. Then she'll have to team up with Asuka, who hasn't had her match yet. Will have had her match.
Oh, no.
So the winner for the Raw Women's Champion will then face with Sasha Banks for the titles against Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. Winner takes all. Nia Jax has already said she's shown interest in the SmackDown Women's Championship. So, and unfortunately, there is influence from Nia Jax because her cousin is The Rock.
Please, no. If they do anything to spoil that, potential Sasha Banks Bianca Belair match, because I think that could steal the show at WrestleMania.
It'll be a good match as long as you don't have to hear Sasha talk.
You don't like her on the mic.
I didn't realize until like SmackDown the other day how much Bayley made a difference to her when Bayley and her were together.
Yeah.
Oh, she stinks on the mic. She is awful. She is god awful.
Yeah. It's not the strong point that she has, but it's one of those things.
The wrestling, don't get me wrong, the wrestling ability is there, 100%. But when it comes to giving her a mic, oh god, I'd rather hear her
right,
So let's move on at the minute, because we do have tag titles in the because everyone has a title now. Cedric Alexander has one. Bobby Lashley has one.
Right.
Like, their little group's done well. Like
Hurt Business,
yeah. Everyone's done really well, because everyone's like, "Oh, this Hurt Business is really annoying me," but like people are actually like, "Yeah, we enjoy it now."
Yeah, I mean, it's not Beat Down Clan. If you used to watch them on Impact, Beat Down Clan was a far better faction, but it's not far off there. Because in Beat Down Clan, it was MVP, Samoa Joe,
Lashley, Loki, Kenny King. Yeah. I credit MVP to this, man. MVP's the reason. MVP makes those three guys relevant, man, because he's the mouthpiece. Well, no, he makes Benjamin and Cedric Alexander
literally
relevant. But he helps Lashley, but he makes them relevant, man.
Yeah,
he's
Bobby
always
Lashley.
He's always been a good talker.
Yeah, Lashley.
He was very underutilized.
MVP does more for Bobby Lashley. Yeah, MVP is more brought in for the Lashley speaking bit. Lashley doesn't need anybody to do the talking when he's in the ring. All he needs MVP to do is come across and be like, "You're gonna lose. You might as well just put up with it," in like the kind of MVP kind of way that he does it in. Because Lashley shows off his talent. Like, I mean, for me, Shelby and Alexander are gonna lose the titles soon enough. Talking of tag team titles, we have very interesting SmackDown tag team titles. We have. Do you know what? I literally. I hate them. I hate the tag titles on SmackDown. Do you know what? Like, I don't know how to say I hate them more than I hate them. What are your thoughts on SmackDown?
What, the champs? You don't like the champs or the belts?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
I don't like the champs.
Dirty Dogs. The Dirty Dogs. Yeah.
I hate them.
Yeah. The issue is the whole tag division sucks from both on both shows. So I'll wait for the Street Profit. I think that I think they're gonna do. I think they're gonna do it at WrestleMania. They're gonna do a multi-match for this as well. I think they're gonna do a four-way. I think they're gonna have the Dirty Dogs. Yeah, they're gonna have the Dirty Dogs, Street Profits, Otis and Chad Gable, and then Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio. I think they're gonna do a four-way thing at Mania.
Do you know what? I wouldn't mind that, but do you know what? It's not Robert Roode that like pisses me off. It's Dolph Ziggler, man. This man thinks he's so entitled. I've never seen a man who thinks he's more entitled, that sits on a pedestal, that thinks he's better than everybody else. Last year, he got his ass whooped by legends. This year, he's just doing off Robert Roode. Whereas for me, if you look at the Street Profits are 10 times better than bloody Roode and Ziggler. Ugh. I was fuming when they lost the titles. I was like, they've done them dirty. They've done the Street Profits dirty.
Yeah.
One question I want to ask you too, though. Like, for me, I don't know if it's an unpopular opinion or not, but do you think titles matter anymore?
Nope.
Or would you rather just see a compelling match? Because whether it's WWE, AEW, Impact, whatever, ROH, I just, when I watch the title matches, I don't get that same excitement like I used to get. where you used to think,
No,
yes, such and such.
you're right.
I mean,
I think it's so diluted now.
Yeah.
Titles
Right.
titles don't stand for anything. I think that they're kind of titles don't stand for anything more. If you give me a good match, I'm happy with that. I just want to see some good wrestling. Andrew, what about you?
No, Laurie's right. You know when it didn't matter. Do you remember, Laurie, when you know when CM Punk was champion?
Yeah.
And then but every pay-per-view that year, John Cena was in the main event, and he didn't have a title. And that just meant to me, you're right. It's not like it was before. It doesn't matter because that was the ultimate goal, wasn't it? It's like you build up like everyone for WrestleMania to get that title shot, and it meant more. So when Austin or Rock went for it, it meant more. It went for the title. Yeah, they've been diluted. You're absolutely right. They're just basically just an added accessory now, aren't they? Essentially.
Yeah, and the fact that Oldberg was coming back and taking titles as well. It just says it all.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And even Edge coming back. Do you know what I mean? Even Edge coming back. It's like
nothing against Edge, but like the greatest match ever. What did you not think of the greatest match ever?
They were always on a loser to that, man. They should never put that on there. It wasn't even a good match.
I'm questioning. I don't know what the greatest match is because it hasn't happened recently. So I'm really sorry. I don't know what it is.
And all this cinematic stuff, like what's going on? Wrestling's really gone to Hollywood, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I think I'm really hoping that because obviously Edge and Roman Reigns will face each other at WrestleMania. I'm really hoping that's a good match. I'm hoping. Hoping is that big word that I'm using. I'm using hoping. When I say I hope, it's in a capital HOPE. Capitals, block capitals, dark. I'm bubble writing them and everything just to make sure people know that I need this to be a good match. Because let me tell you now, how many good matches are there going to be at WrestleMania? You're going to have.
I don't know.
Like, I am questioning whether. I mean, this Alexa Bliss, Randy Orton thing is really creeping me out. Like, it's just, it's the black stuff coming out his mouth. That just creeps me out. I'm like, that's not normal. Like, that's the line crossed, you know? Like, I didn't mind the I didn't mind the squirrel. I love the squirrel. I love the pig as well. But for me, they're dragging on the Fiend too much. They need to bring him back now.
But two things.
It depends on how you feel about him, isn't it?
Yeah. Two things. I don't think you'll get Edge versus Roman Reigns. I think it's going to be a triple threat, and they're going to add Daniel Bryan to it, make it a triple threat. And also, I think they're going to have Firehouse Fun match like they did last year when the Fiend comes back. It's very weird they portray the Fiend as the hero of this story, man. It doesn't make any sense. He's a Halloween horror character.
When has he ever had a good match, though?
Who's that?
Does Bray Wyatt do anything for you, though? Bray Wyatt's matches are so.
No, they wasted him. They wasted him. You know when he should have beat Cena at WrestleMania. Yeah. Right? And he didn't. And then they dropped the ball. He's had good matches with Daniel Bryan. They always seem to have good matches. But you're right.
Him and Ambrose were the best matches he had, I think.
Yeah, but even those were like. Yeah,
but
then they wasted it.
The thing is, Daniel Bryan's like one of them people that what they used to say about Guerrero. You could work with a broomstick and make it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, but the Fiend, I don't know when the Fiend comes back or anything like that. I think they're just they're going to do what they did with Cena last year and have the Funhouse match that they did last year, which I didn't really like. So I don't know how they're going to do that, but because they set the man on fire. Do you know what I mean? He like melted in the ring. It's just one of those things. That's what I mean. I don't see. Usually now, you get a sense of what they're. You get a sense of most of the matches. But this is my problem. You got this fast lane next week, and then you've only got 3 weeks. 3 weeks, and I know it's spread over 2 nights, but it's mad. It's mental. You in the glory days, they'd have it planned out probably like 2 months in advance, maybe 3 months in advance.
Yeah.
From the Royal Rumble, you maybe got one pay-per-view in between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. That was it. And the storylines would do out properly. It does seem a bit rushed. Like it's I don't think having no crowd definitely hurts it, but at the same time, like, you need to make it make sense to us. If it don't make sense to us, how's it gonna make sense to the wrestlers themselves? Because they're in the storyline, you're building up storyline, and sometimes the way they just abruptly shut, like, and people just, as you said, people start reappearing, like we haven't seen them for weeks or months on end.
Yeah.
Like, you can understand why a lot of people do want to release. Like, Andrade came out saying that he wants to release. Now, again, he's someone that needs a mouthpiece, but he definitely gave you good matches in the ring.
Yeah, he's wasted as well. So I mean, it's like if I was in NXT, and I was like, oh, they came to me and they went, oh yep, so now we're thinking about sending you up to Raw or SmackDown. I'd go, no way, buddy.
You can see why Undisputed Era always turn it down.
Yeah.
And what's his name?
Johnny Gargano,
Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah.
So you can understand
why Finn Balor's gone back. You know.
Yeah, I think WrestleMania is going to be interesting. Usually, you're right. Usually, the storylines would be kind of coming into place, and I don't know if we're going to at Fastlane see that there's only going to be 3 weeks of coming into place. I don't really know. I feel like the storylines have kind of been so dead and so confusing and so interesting that you never really know what's going to go on. I mean, I think Vince, I respect Vince for all that he's done at WWE. However, the influence he has on the storylines, he needs to put that aside. He is the owner. He's the CEO. He's not a writer. He's never been a writer. He's never going to be a writer.
One of the things I do like, though, is what they're doing with Apollo Crews. I do like that.
Yeah, this has just been brought up. Apollo Crews Hilton, what do you guys make of it?
Needed it, man. He's been wasted for 5 years since he went up to the...
He's so talented. He is, man. Do you know what? He's been one of my favorite wrestlers for a long time now. And every time I see him getting put down, or he doesn't get it, or he just doesn't make it by this much, I'm like, oh, like, just no, what are you doing with this wrestler? Like, he's so talented for me. Like, he's such a talent, and I think I think it's got to the point where they kind of have to give him something now, because he's if I was Apollo Crews, I'd be like, well, AEW are doing really well. They're treating their wrestlers really well. I'm going to go over there. And if I'm honest with you, I have a little bit of a confession to make.
Good.
I don't think Becky Lynch is going to come back to WWE.
Oh no, I don't think she is. She's not coming. I don't think she's coming back for at least a year, or even then not.
Not even that. I think she's going to go to AEW.
No way. Why would she do
that?
I
genuinely do.
Really?
Well, rumour mill is that when she comes back, she won't be offered a title match, which I think is actually deserving, because she had to give it up because she was pregnant, not because she lost her title at any point in the time. So for me, that's fair. But they're saying that if she came back this year, her next title match will be the end of next year.
Yeah, I don't see her coming back. I don't see her coming back for at least till 2022 at the earliest, because she only gave birth in December. So
I think she's going to shock every fuck. Yeah, I know, but I just think that she's. To be fair, I think a lot of WWE. But look at how the superstars were sacked, and how they all, like Zelina Vega. She was talented. I enjoyed her. I really did. Like, No Way Jose wasn't bigged up. He was my favorite. No Way Jose. No Way Jose. He had literally the best entrance ever. And I used to love it when he used to come on. I was like, yes, please. There's Aleister Black. Someone tell me he wasn't talented, and where is he now?
Aleister Black is very
Like
talented.
he was
I think,
incredibly.
Since he lost his eye, we haven't seen him, have we?
No. He's another one. Yeah, he's another one.
Yeah, he's in purgatory.
Tommy End or something.
How
like
do we
that,
feel
or
about
something
this?
like that, yeah.
Big E deserves his push. Do we agree?
Yeah, he does.
I think Big E
he's very
deserves
talented.
everything he's getting right now.
He does, man. I was expecting him to be shot, like build against Roman Reigns or something, man. That's what. But maybe it's too soon.
Yeah. I think. I mean, as far as I'm concerned with the Roman Reigns thing, the Roman Reigns thing is obviously going to be a double championship at some point during this year. I'm not sure when. All I know that he is set to become a double champion to kind of, he's supposed to become Universal and WWE champion to certify his kind of head of the table place. Obviously, I'm assuming it's going to be after WrestleMania, so I'm assuming SummerSlam, because when you get to Raw versus SmackDown, you can't have Roman Reigns fighting himself and spearing himself. That's not how it works. So,
I really, you know what? I really hope they don't do that. The one thing for me would be, I'd get rid of the name Universal Championship, because that sounds stupid. So I'd get rid of that and I'd bring back the old WCW World Heavyweight title belt. I'll just bring that back and just call it World Heavyweight title again. Maybe you could do something like that, because I want the show separate. Just separate them. I don't want any crossover or anything. The only way they should interact is when they do the pay-per-views. Do you know what I mean? Just
I mean, the fact that you've got 3 hours and you still have to bring Smackdown stars over.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's mad. Go back to 2 hours. Sort your roster out and start making stars, because you've got them there. You're just wasting them. Or it's the same matches every week. It's the same stuff, you know. You got Keith Lee there waiting to explode.
Oh my god, I love Keith Lee.
Yeah, it's just mad.
Yeah, he's another one that, like, what he was doing on NXT, he thought, they don't know what to do with him.
No,
just made him goofy. Why did he like Vince McMahon likes big guys, but then he makes big guys goofy? It's like, which one is it?
It's no sense. It's no sense, man. It has always been. It's been like that for the last 18 years.
Yeah.
He makes no sense whatsoever with some of the decisions he makes. I mean, he's been great, but it's time to, like, you know, when you go.
Yeah.
You know, time to end. Time to retire, man. Just enjoy your retirement. Yeah. You're going to make millions still just retired. You know.
I do want to come on and ask your opinions on this. Obviously, Seth Rollins has just come back from paternity leave. I want to ask your opinion on A, Seth Rollins' heel turn, and B, what would you like if you were capable of having a storyline for him now he's back? What would you have?
I like what he's doing with Cesaro, but I was when he first came back, I thought he was going to do something. I want him to do something with Daniel Bryan. There's a lot of history there, man. They could draw in a lot of history, you know. And and the way their characters are, they're very polar. They're very polar opposites, anyway. So he could do some stuff with there. But yeah, otherwise, because then you're not going to put, if Roman retains the title, you're not going to put Seth Rollins against Roman Reigns. It just makes no sense. So it's like, or does Edge beat Roman Reigns and holds it for about a month, but then has a match with Seth Rollins and they can draw history on that he threatened to break his neck years ago. Do you remember that stuff like that? They can draw back on that or just have a match, or that's what I mean. It's like I shouldn't have to think of storylines for this company. You know, they should just come up with themselves. You know,
in fact, I get what you're saying there. With you would like Seth to put over someone new, but the only two people, as you said, that I could see him having a decent feud with, or three. Cesaro, Cesaro's like sort of in purgatory because every time he gets a push, it just I don't know what happens. Everyone knows that he is aside from Daniel Bryan, I think he's the best wrestler on the roster.
Oh yeah.
So I don't understand why they always cock it up with him. I can't understand it. But outside of Cesaro, as you said, the storyline he's in now, the only other two people I could see him having a good storyline with would have been Daniel Bryan, as you said, or Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah, they sort of teased something on, didn't they?
Yeah.
After he beat down Cesaro. Yeah. I got a horrible feeling. I got a horrible feeling that they're going to do some type of weird tag match at Fastlane, and it's just.
Please don't.
The only thing I reckon the match would be great. It just doesn't. The storyline's just. Once again, it's like it's not compelling. It's like if someone said, "I've got tickets for an indie show, and this match is going to be fine," I'd watch that because there's no interest in investment for in storyline. It's like, okay, so what does this lead to? Do you know what I mean? Does Cesaro have to go through Seth Rollins' feud to get to a feud with Roman Reigns? Do you know what I mean? Because I'd like to see Cesaro against Reigns.
I think once the what are they called? Once the Corbin and Zayn storyline finishes, someone's going over to one of them two. If they're not going in the US title hunt, then someone's going over to them too.
Yeah, and then because I think Apollo Crews will eventually beat Big E. I think it's just a matter of time. And then what does then Apollo move on to? What's the mid card face that pops up? They've got I think the problem is they've got too many heel characters. They need to start. They might need to start turn one of them or something like that, or just do what I like, and just who cares if they're heel and face? Just say they don't like each other.
Do you know what I mean? AEW does.
Yeah, exactly right. AEW, yeah.
AEW, you never know who's heel, who's face.
I think AEW had about 16 heel turns this week anyway.
Literally. Now you've brought up AEW. Let's get on to that. I have waited 42 minutes to come on to this match. I've never wanted to rip into the world's shittest match in my life. Firstly, Jon Moxley. Oh, he's fucking fabulous. Fabulous is the word, and he is it. Yeah. Oh, just his demeanor, the way he speaks, his promos, so on point.
Yeah.
Let me tell you now, that great big explosion was nothing more than a bit of smoke.
Yeah.
It was shit.
Have you seen the way they followed it up as well?
When they tried to, no, it's the way they tried to pretend that they'd been injured with a bit of smoke. I cried with laughter. I cried with laughter.
I wish I'd filmed Trey's reaction to you lot, because I showed him when he's over for the weekend, and I showed him, and I wasn't even watching the video. I was just watching his face. His facial reaction was just said it all.
I remember it's like one of those things, you know, when you get one that someone's bought like an illegal firework, but it's huge, right? So then they light it on fire, and everyone like goes back, and all it goes, just little. That was it. It was like that. But I hated that stipulation for the match, man, because I mean a barbed wire. Because you know what it is. I don't know you guys. If I watch someone in a barbed wire match, I'm always like that. Do you know what I mean? I'm not fully watching the match because I'm like, why do you have to? It was like, do you remember their match in 2019? It was like an unsanctioned match, and I was thinking, what? I was thinking, this is their first match. Why does it have to be an unsanctioned match? That should be a build up to it. The unsanctioned match should be a build up. Why does it need to have barbed wire in this match? And also, okay, we're not happy with a barbed wire like massacre match. Let's add an exploding barbed wire death match.
It was just awful. I mean, the match itself wasn't too bad. That's the thing that made it work.
Yeah.
It was. Do you know what? The match, the actual wrestling itself was good. Yeah. It was the effects around it. The effects were shit. Everything was shit. Also, I do want to talk about something. I need to acknowledge something right now. This is I've been waiting for this show to actually talk about this. Let's talk about Shaq. That was bloody beautiful. Cody Rhodes jumping onto him, he falling back on the table like bye. I was like, Shaq catches him, and I'm like, this is gonna be good. Shaq's
I don't know if that table was funnier, or the fact that Shaq had to break character and put his legs down when he was getting put down. Like, what? But he must have got planned or something. Something made him get out of the ambulance. He's like, fuck this, I'm not trying. I'm not doing this storyline. I'm done.
I thought he was. You know what? He didn't have to do that table spot, man. Big up for him to doing that. He didn't have to do it. My whole problem was not the match. It's like, why do I care about this match? You know what I mean? It's like, what is the build up? What is the build up? Why am I supposed to be invested in this? I understand why you're doing it as a company because you're trying to get more viewers and more limelight on you, and I understand that. But I was like, cool, Shaq's in there, cool. I have no problem with the match. I thought the match was actually pretty good. But it's like, why do I? What's the payoff for me? Do you know what I mean? Why do I care? Do you know what I mean? It's not like.
What biggest problem was is no disrespect to Shaq, but you was building up Jericho and Mike Tyson, and then you get Cody and Shaq. What would you rather see?
Exactly.
Everyone knows what they would rather see. So, and as you said, there was no reason for the feud in the first place. Cody was in a feud with Team Taz, and then all of a sudden he's fighting Shaq. Like, I was just so confused.
Yeah, exactly.
What the Team Taz thing finish?
I don't know. I think it's like put on hold.
But I do have to ask your opinion on a couple of women wrestlers at the minute. One of them I kind of quite like. I'm not supposed to like, but I kind of do. Dr. Britt Baker.
Yeah.
Like,
her
promos are so, like, she is a sassy. She's like sassy. She's cold-hearted. She's like, yes, I like this. What are your opinions on her, guys?
Yeah, I think Adam Cole's got something to do with her promos, though. So
yeah,
probably he must be helping her with her promo work because she has come a long way with the promos. But and you would have thought after that abomination with Big Swole, like how much worse could it get? But she's picked herself up after that. So I never want a big. Did you see when they were talking about Cedric? They were saying Cedric did a heel turn because he saw Big Swole wrestling. You could understand it, but yeah, I think it is time for them to. She should be in the title hunt. I'm not gonna lie. She should. The women's division is limited as it is, but no disrespect to the people that we keep seeing. We keep seeing Nyla Rose get title shots. We keep seeing. Again, I've got nothing against all these Japanese people, but
yeah,
I agree with Daniel. That it's time to change.
Yeah.
I have to also get your.
I can't even remember what the champion's name is.
Hikaru Shida.
Hikaru Shida.
I couldn't tell the difference between her and Rio, just that she's a bit bigger than Rio.
That's my biggest issue with AEW is their women's division. It's just not.
And I've heard it's run by Kenny Omega, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, but it's not.
He needs
to hand over to someone else because.
But I really want to see Britt Baker be champion. Like Nyla Rose, speaking of her, has had how many chances are we going to give her before we actually give someone else a chance who actually deserves it? Because Nyla Rose had Brandy's help to get everything she wanted. Like,
and even if Vicky Guerrero can't save you, then I don't know what.
I think Nyla Rose could be. I think Nyla Rose could be good as chasing the title as like a babyface monster. You know, I think she could be good like that, especially if like Vicky Guerrero turns on her or something like that. She could be off running through whoever's turned on her, and also they've also got that weird looking Abaddon, who's just weird looking, man. She is. They got
Rosemary joined.
Oh man, if they got Rosemary in there, man, Rosemary would be the one. Rosemary would be the one. If they can with this deal of Impact, they can bring Rosemary over to just do something with Britt Baker or Nyla Rose or even Hikaru Shida, man. That would be something.
Young as well.
That would be something.
Su Young's a really good wrestler as well.
Yeah, they can do that as well, man. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, but AEW, that what I liked is obviously the Inner Circle got destroyed this week by basically just if you notice, just another stable that looks nearly like them. Do you know what I mean? It's like you got MJF, Jericho, you got Wardlow, Jack Hager, you've got Sean Spears, Sammy Guevara, and then you've got Proud and Powerful and FTI. It's just basically like nearly a mirror image of a stable, something like that.
I know, they've literally just switched it around and added a couple more people in it. Like, that's literally all they've done, except MJF is now running it. Like,
and do you know what else? Do you know what else I don't like? And do you know what else I don't like? I don't like they've got the two tunnels, so they just tell you who's a good guy and who's a bad guy. Just have one tunnel, man. I don't need two tunnels. You know,
no,
we're not
I don't
stupid.
want it stapled out for me.
Yeah, exactly.
We are capable of figuring out who's bad and who's good. We're not that thick. We've done it for WWE for how many years now?
Because and now they've got the perfect heel face in Paul White there. So we're never going to know who's heels and faces now.
Laurie, I swear this week, right? Scorpio Sky turned heel, yeah. Lance Archer came out of the good guy tunnel, interrupted Sting. Does that mean he's now turning heel? And then Pentagon, who had been teaming with Phoenix and Neville against Eddie Kingston's lot, he turned heel. He turned heel as well.
And hold on, we forgot the other faction. Butcher and Blade suddenly just joined. Who was it without no explanation?
Exactly. That's what I mean. It's like, whoa.
They've got into a new group, haven't they? But with no explanation. Who are they with? I can't even bloody remember.
Literally.
Matt Hardy, isn't it? So,
That's it. Butcher, Blade and Bunny. All of a sudden they're with Matt Hardy.
Yeah.
But they weren't winning any of their matches anyway, so I thought he was about money and...
Yeah, but Matt Hardy turned heel for no explanation. Private Party turned heel for no explanation.
Yeah.
It was like, what's going on, man? I don't understand. It's like 2 minutes, like, whoa. It's like, what's going on? It's like, I don't know. But yeah, AEW, though, AEW, they have some storylines, but they suffer a bit with their storylines as well. Where it's just, sometimes when I watch their show, it's just matches. Do you know what I mean? It's just matches for matches, and it doesn't. And also, isn't it funny? Isn't it funny? You don't hear anything about their rankings anymore, right? Don't hear anything about their rankings. I knew that was going to go away. I knew that was going to go away because there's no way they could. There's no way they could take that forward because then they'll just get. Oh, why is it number 2 face? Why is it number 1 facing number 2, etc. like that? Yeah. So. But they're still good.
After Jericho lost the title, it's been downhill since then, really, for me, because everyone had good storylines, not just Jericho. You literally had good storylines everywhere back when Jericho had the title, and then and then people started. It's not even the whole coming from WWE into AEW. That's not what they're doing. Like Miro, oh my god. Have you ever seen anyone get buried? Look, what's this computer thing they're trying to do? Seriously, what's this? You're feuding over Pac-Man, like what the fuck?
I think though, don't you think, Laurie Charlotte, that they suffer from always being at that Daily's place, and also they suffer from it. So it's like, although like WWE's in the Thunderdome or whatever it is, it still doesn't feel stale. Do you know what I mean? Where it's like Daily's place is the same thing for the past 9 months, and also I think they suffer from having a big crowd either.
Like, I haven't watched AEW Dark for a long time, but I feel like I'm watching Dark sometimes.
Yeah, exactly right. It's
Dark and Dynamite. I really can't.
Yeah, it's like it's like watching when WWE, sometimes it's like watching when WWE didn't care about Sunday Night Heat. Do you know what I mean? It's like they just didn't care, and they just reran storylines from the top shows and just had 1 or 2 matches. But AEW, the matches are very good still. And they're a company that they do, their belts matter on there, so the belts do matter on there, and they have pushed new stars as well. Like Darby Allin, and Ray Phoenix and MJF. Awesome. Yeah. But yeah,
I do want to move on from AEW for a minute, because I want to discuss 2 of the longest reigning champions. One, I think, more so than the other in NXT UK. I don't know if you guys watch this. Obviously, Kaylee Ray just hit 560 days as champion.
Yeah.
And Walter is over 700 days.
Yeah, it'll be 2 years in 2 years. It'll be 2 years WrestleMania week, right?
Yeah.
This guy.
I want to just
Walter, Jesus.
He's
just like he's the perfect wrestler. He's what everyone. No, he's what everyone wants in like. I think if he was in America, then he's someone that would definitely have bums on seats.
But he does. You know what he told him? He doesn't want to. He'll go to America, but he doesn't want to be there permanently.
Yeah. You understand why he doesn't want to do it, because
he's
probably got that fear of being buried. But his matches, like initially when they signed him, I didn't understand what the hype was, but having seen what he does in the ring, and like he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
He won't change his style for anyone, but it's like you've got to adjust to his style and work with him. And you know you're going to get a hard-hitting match.
But he can have a match with anyone.
Do you know what?
He can have a match with anyone.
Do you know what? One of my favourite matches is actually Pete Dunne and Walter. Because they both gave each other a run.
They have so many.
Like, Pete... Also, Tyler Bate and Walter. You always rule Tyler Bate out.
What's that guy called they had late last year? Was it Dragunov or something like that?
Victor Dragunov.
Yeah. Good Lord. Some of the hits on there, man. Jesus Christ. Man. That was like old school. That was like, my God, that guy's chest. That guy's chest was like raw meat.
If someone wants to tell you wrestling in this fake, you make them watch a match like that.
Oh, yeah.
Like watch a Tyler Bate match. Watch a Vladimir Dragunov match. Watch a Pete Dunne match.
Even Devlin has good matches as well.
Yeah, Jordan Devlin, But I think we do need to
Shawn Michaels runs that, so that's all good.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to move on to Kaylee Ray, because she, for me, is an absolute badass.
Underrated.
Yeah. She beat Mikio this week on. She's beaten everybody to get there. She beat Tony Storm. She's beaten Viper Pippin.
Piper Pippin,
sorry. Oh my God, my brain is gone.
No, that's all good. Don't worry.
She literally has beaten everybody to get where she wants. Like, I'm honest. She's running out of competitors to play, like to challenge. Like, I don't know. It's got to the point where I don't know who's going to beat her unless she moves to NXT. That's the kind of situation I see.
Yeah, or the only way she loses a belt is if it's in a multi-woman match and she's not pinned. So like a triple threat or a fatal four-way or something like that. Or but even like
before.
I know, but what I'm saying is they could like not make it. She could not lose. She could lose the belt without losing it, so it doesn't hurt her.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because then she can go. I wasn't actually. I lost the match and the belt's gone, but I wasn't actually beaten for it.
Yeah, but that's what Charlotte Flair did, and that really annoyed me. Like that.
Oh
really...
no. But I do believe she's going to go to NXT in the USA.
No, I understand. If that's the case, if she is going to NXT, then I'd rather that way than actually her being pinned, because she's had this run of like 560 days where, for me personally, that's an incredible run. Like, and I don't want that to be ruined by the fact that they've had to make her lose. I would rather she not be pinned, or like she was pushed into the metal stairs and concussed, and then someone pinned her, so she didn't know what's going on. Like, I don't want it to be like simple. I don't want it to be basic. I don't want her to just have given it away because she had to. I want her to fight for everything, and that's what she's done so far. Just like with Walter, I don't actually think he's going to lose the title anytime soon, because no one can beat him, because they all aren't good enough. And I'm not saying they're not good, but there's like Dragunov's level, Tyler Bates level, Pete Dunne's level, like, and then you've got Walter's level, and that level is on another like. You go from like an incredible wrestler to Walter, and then you're like, shit now. Do you know what I'd really love to see? Walter versus Roman Reigns or Randy Orton. Or
I want to see him against Finn Balor. Man.
Oh my God, that would be such a good...
That would just be brutal.
What about Adam Cole? Adam Cole? Could you see him?
They had sort of a thing.
Johnny Gargano?
Sort of thing last year.
Yeah.
They had a sort of thing last year, like a 8-man tag match or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Walter
needs to come to NXT.
Do you know what? I can't remember seeing him against someone who's the same size of him, but if someone smaller than him, he has knockout fights with them, man. You know, and I say fights because sometimes some of the shots I know it's like they work it out and everything like that, but some of the shots, even to take them, man, are just brutal.
I'd quite like to see. I want to see. I know Walter won't, but I'd like to see him fight Finn Balor, Johnny Gargano, Adam Cole. Like, there's so many people I want him to fight at NXT. Like, that would actually give me good matches. And to be honest, I think it's actually a shame. I understand his reasoning and shit. But I don't think it would be a bad move for him to go to NXT. It could be a bad move for him to go to Raw or SmackDown. NXT, not so much. I don't think NXT would be a bad move. Because he'll have competition there.
I'd like to see him against...
Best match, Karrion Kross, Walter.
That'd be good. I'd like to see him against Keith Lee. Keith Lee. Or Dominic Dijakovic. I'd like to see him against him. Yes. Get this retribution crap off, man.
It's boring.
Just get it gone, man. T-Bar, whatever his name is, Mace, or whatever his name is, Slapjack. Yeah. And what's Mia Yim's one in there? I don't know what her name is, but she's like, hang on, she's the one that actually shows more of her face, right? Wouldn't logic dictate that Keith Lee suddenly comes out and goes, wait a minute, because they've already acknowledged their relationship on TV. Why are you now in this retribution group? But they never acknowledge it.
That's in the middle of a match as well.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think she can see since her mask fell off.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, why did Keith Lee go, well, last week something really weird happened. My girlfriend said she was going away to do some training, but I saw her on Raw. You know, like that. It's just, but yeah, Walter's a brute, man. He's absolute brute, and he's and Kaylee Ray is very underrated, man. She's very underrated. She's had some knockout matches. You're right. She's too dominant now, so she should go to the best women's roster in all of wrestling. That's on NXT USA, man. They have the best women's roster in all of wrestling, no doubt. Her against Io Shirai, Ember Moon, Shotzi Blackheart, stuff like that.
Mia Yim's name is Reckoning.
Reckoning, thank you, Daniel. Yeah, Reckoning.
They're also keeping Mia Yim are engaged, which I actually love.
Mia Yim's a great talent.
I love Mia Yim, but I think she's kind of been wasted in this kind of as the Reckoning. Totally. Like, it's kind of annoying me. It really is. Like, I just get to a point where she was so talented in NXT, and then I think she had a couple of matches on Raw, and then all of a sudden she's reckoning, and I'm kind of like, what have they just done? Like, that's not okay. Like, I don't want this shit. And I just got really annoyed with it. I just not impressive. I just think there's so many storylines that are kind of instead of being like, yes, I love this storyline, I'm like, okay, how long is this going to be for? Like, I'm over this shit. Like, can this storyline end? I want these storylines that I'm like, so like old school, The Shield, bringing back Triple H, Ric Flair, like Randy Orton, Evolution style, bringing back like the Shield Evolution kind of storylines. The Shield against anybody, even the Shield against Drew McIntyre, Braun Strowman, and Dolph Ziggler. Was it Dolph Ziggler? Yeah. That was a good storyline. Like, anything like that would be a good storyline for me. They are
capable of producing good storylines.
Even Becky Lynch. For me, ever since the Raw Women's gone downhill since Becky Lynch left. Now, for me, I think Becky Lynch sprung this upon them, and they were like, "Shit, what do we do?" But for me, Becky Lynch as a champion was fucking amazing because she did have that storyline against Charlotte Flair where everyone understood what she was coming from. Because Charlotte Flair does just get fucking handed everything, and it does my nut in. And it's frustrating for me. I would quite like to see someone step up to take Becky Lynch's place. Not place, but step up to that role to be that kind of leader.
Yeah. But problem is they ruined Asuka, man. They ruined her. Asuka was dominant, and they ruined her.
They really have.
She should have got on an undefeated streak as soon as she went up and been champion for a long time, but they just ruined her. Stupid. It's stupid. They just ruined most of the NXT people, man. Yeah. That's why I fear for Rhea Ripley, man.
But they've reburied her. She's doomed before she's even on there. Because last year she had that run, and then Charlotte Flair goes over to NXT and takes the NXT championship.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I can just come in and do what I want.
Let me tell you. Here's what I think is going to happen. I'm about to predict the Raw Women's title chamber right now. Okay, WrestleMania. It's going to be Asuka versus Charlotte Flair. SummerSlam. It's going to be Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. Period. End of. I don't want it to be this. I really don't. I don't want it to be this at all. I would rather put a bullet. Like, there's so many things I would rather do. I would rather eat things I don't like. I would rather jump off a cliff. I don't know how many things I would like to do more than not have Charlotte Flair as champion. Do you know what? Just for 1 year, I'd like her not to be champion. Like, just for 1 year. I don't ask for much. I really don't ask for much. It's like I'm asking for desert weather in the UK. That's never going to happen.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. I just think we're just going to be disappointed for a while. We're just going to have little crumbs of things we like, but overall the product with WWE is like that. Between Raw and SmackDown is like very little. NXT is great, but as soon as you get a popular person push up to the main roster, they just waste them so many times. So
you don't feel that NXT's been a little bit disappointing lately, though?
Oh yeah, it has. It's not its usual hype, but what I mean is it's like still their bad programs are 10 times better than say a Monday Night Raw episode.
Literally. It's like just to clarify, Monday Night Raw last week, I don't remember any of the matches. I know that sounds really bad, but none of the matches stood out to me.
Nope.
Like, not even in SmackDown. None of the matches in SmackDown really stood out to me this week either. Like, there wasn't anything I was like, oh my God, I remember this. I remember this match. This is going to rack in my brain. It's just I could tell you in NXT there was a few good matches, whether there was a dead ass week or not.
Yeah,
you had the Shotzi Blackheart, Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez, Shotzi Blackheart winning the champions, women's
tag titles with Ember Moon, new NXT tag titles.
There was the NXT women's tag titles were announced. I mean, I'm really going to say this. I'm going to say this now. Io Shirai needs to lose her title now. I've had enough. I've had enough now. It's been long enough. I'm bored of it. I'm over it. I would like. It's a bit like AEW. I want a new champion now. I'm kind of same shit, different day. Like,
yeah,
I would like to
lose
see.
It to
I thought she was going to lose it to Tony Storm, to be honest.
No, she might. I think they're going to set up her against
I think
Gonzalez.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think if they're going to make her champion, they're going to have to do a breakdown in her and Dakota Kai's relationship.
I think it started
Dakota Kai will be that whiny, like Dakota. They lost the championship because of Dakota Kai.
Yeah, the way they lost it as well.
But I think, yeah, I don't. Velvet Schwan says Cedric Alexandra has a punchable face. I mean, I mean, like, to be fair, I've literally been watching Dolph Ziggler sometimes, and I'm like, oh, I want to punch. Oh, this is a good question. What do you think of the Andrade situation? If I speak, I will get in trouble.
I think Triple H should take him back to NXT because
I agree. He's
they're not going to do anything. They're not going to do anything with him on the main roster, man.
Do you know what? The only way I could see something being done with that is that Charlotte Flair's influence as his fiance kind of comes into play. That's
which is probably why they didn't release him.
Yeah, I know, because I think I think if they, honestly, my honest opinion, I think if they'd have released him, I think Charlotte Flair would have gone to AEW and then all hell would have broken loose. For me personally. I mean, I really wouldn't be complaining if Charlotte Flair went to AEW. Like, I wouldn't even care if Charlotte Flair went to NXT UK. I just don't want her as champion on Raw or SmackDown anymore. Can I make myself any clearer? WWE, if you're watching this, do not make Charlotte Flair champion. We are bored of it. We are actually bored of the same champions. We want to see new, upcoming talents become champions. Keith Lee. You've got who's the bro? Matt Riddle. You've got Matt Riddle as a champion, which I'm excited to see because it's someone that like hasn't been champion before. Do you know what? I'm just getting to the point where I feel like I feel like I sound like an old lady. I'm just getting bored of the same old champions. I want something new. I want to get champions that I don't expect. I mean, for Bobby Lashley, I think he deserves the title. If I'm really honest, like he's waited long enough. Like. It's just like Roman Reigns has had the title before. Like if Brock Lesnar comes back, he gets the title every time. Like how many? Like it's like Randy Orton's like a 16-time champion. I understand. Do you know what? I understand the Randy Orton title hold last year to get him up to 16. Fair play, I understand that. But do you know what? I'm just getting to the point where I'm like sick of the same old champions. I would like to see people who have actually worked their way up. Like. So what? Peyton Royce isn't the best wrestler in the world. She's not on some levels, but she's worked her ass off, and maybe she does deserve even a title. I think she's more pissed off about the title opportunities.
Yeah, but she's very talented.
Yeah,
she wasn't it. She had some good matches in NXT. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
Same with anyone else brought up from NXT. Don't really do much. You know, it's just one of those things. I don't know why they even bother bringing them up if they're not going to do anything with them. You know, it doesn't mean that, and then they'll go, "Oh, yeah, you're not trying to state your claim." It's like, what you got to offer them? Nothing.
Do you
What-
agree with this? Charlotte Flair is going to be breaking her dad's record. Is that kind of the goal for WWE?
Isn't she already on 10? She's already on 10, right? I think she's already on.
No, she's 14 times.
She's not 14 times, is she?
I'm
I
about
think
to
she's
Google
10.
it now.
I think she's 10. Yeah,
Um,
I don't doubt she's going to break. I don't doubt she's going to break it. She's already won 10 at least, I think, already. Why wouldn't she? Why wouldn't she go on and break it? You know. My thing is, Laurie, would you rather be, for me? You know, if I was a champion, I'd rather be like a long reigning champion, not like a multiple champion. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like it's like I was saying earlier. To me, like as much as you want to get to the Holy Grail, it's like once you've got there, what does it really mean? Like what impact is it gonna have?
Yeah.
And how many matches can you have? Because some of the divisions, you understand why the straps are on some people because there's no one else really in the division.
Yeah.
So they compete with, or the person they're having the feud with. It's like, how long can you have the feud until you say, "Oh, we're gonna put it on them instead"?
Yeah, exactly.
Because look at
it's like
I think he was talking about NXT call-ups. Please explain to me what in the bloody hell is going on with Damian Priest. Can anyone think why he's in the 24-hour title? He was, when he was a heel, he was a very good heel. He's good on the mic, he's agile, he's very athletic. Now we're seeing him walking around being a security guard for a 24/7 championship.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell, man? Seriously.
Ridiculous, right? Absolutely ridiculous. That's the thing, yeah. Made his main roster debut in the Royal Rumble. Did a few
She's got
things.
13 titles. 13
Jesus.
titles.
But yeah, I thought he might do something with like the Miz and Morrison. That'd be a good starter feud. You know, get over on them. But yeah, I mean, basically, he's a heavy for Bad Bunny. Yeah. One of the least intimidating music names I've ever heard in my life. Bad Bunny.
Yeah, Daniel does make a good point. Peyton Royce will go to AEW with her husband Sean Spears.
Probably.
I don't like. Do you know what? This is my problem. WWE are treating a lot of talent like shit. Everyone who's like big in the books, like Charlotte Flair, Randy Orton.
You know, the funniest one for me though was when they've been released now, but what's his name again? Maria Kellis and what's her husband?
Mike Bennett. Yeah.
Yeah.
When they signed that big 10-year deal, they basically did an Alan Pardew, but with WWE. It's like you knew that when they signed that contract, they was never going to stay. I don't understand why they signed it in the first place.
Yeah, it's all job. Well, they thought job security, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, you got to decide in this day and age when it comes to pro wrestling. You've got to decide: do I want to go to a company where I'm going to be pushed, or do I want to go to a company where I'll get a decent push and then not be used for months on end?
Yeah.
Or do I just stay independent? Because, like you said, with the indies, you know you're going to get a good match regardless.
Yeah.
Like, there doesn't have to really be a storyline to it or no structure. Whereas when you're on a mainstream roster,
you're
limited. There's going to be consequences with it, or as you said, you're
catering, bro, catering. They're going to catering. You know what I mean? They're in catering, so they buy a plane ticket just to sit in catering. Some of these guys, man, they don't do anything apart from that. They're not even like in a dark match or something like that. They're just like in catering, just collecting a wage. It's like, what's the point?
Like that Raw reunion. Please tell me that wasn't one of the worst.
Yeah, they always are.
No, but that one was like, why were some of the people there?
I know, right?
I just didn't understand it.
And I was going like, why are they there for some of them for actual health reasons? It's still in the middle of a pandemic, yeah. And also, you're not there. And I'm putting my logic ahead. You're not socially distancing. Keep away. Who's next to each other? But yeah, some of them like like you said, Oldberg keeps coming back, man. Just go away. Just go away, please. Just go away. Please go away. But yeah, They got a big problem, man. It'd be fascinating what they do at Fast. I'm eager to see what they do. I'm not looking forward to Fastlane, but I want to see what they do at Fastlane. So, because they've only got 3 weeks to build up for WrestleMania. So
Yeah, it's gonna be eye rolling. A lot of eye rolling.
Yeah,
A lot of sighing and eye rolling. I mean,
yeah, you're right.
It's just a shame
big up to Will. He's joining.
Well, yeah, it's just a shame that they can't. I want to see. I think in an ideal world, we'd want to see another NXT Raw SmackDown, like an invasion, because even that storyline was pretty decent when they did the invasion, and NXT won the Raw SmackDown NXT thing, and then that's it. They just went back to NXT, and it was all forgotten again.
Yeah.
It's like building the storylines when you get them. It's just so bloody frustrating.
It's mostly short term. It's not long term.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I liked about them. Yeah. But there we go.
I do also want to talk about the fact that the NXT Performance Center have just recruited crazy amount of people.
Yeah.
Taya Valkyrie.
Awesome talent.
Bronson Reed Steiner, who's Rick Steiner's son.
Yeah.
We've got Sean Ricker, LA Knight. You've got Parker Boardroom.
Please don't ruin him again.
Yeah.
He was just so golden on the mic. I loved when he was Eli Drake, man.
Yeah.
You've got Priscilla Kelly. You've got Brianna Coda. You've got, who's the other big one? Zoe Stark has just been recruited as well. You've got a large amount of new recruits coming up into NXT, making me. Do you know what? I'm really excited for Taya Valkyrie. Yeah, I've never been more excited. I've literally, the amount of rumors that have been swirling, how long for her to come actually and turn up?
Yeah, ever since John Morrison came back, basically.
Literally.
Yeah, she's very talented. Huh?
Even if people have seen her stuff in what's it called?
Yeah, Impact. Yeah, Impact Wrestling.
No, before Impact.
Oh, Lucha Underground.
Yeah, Lucha Underground. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you see her stuff in Lucha Underground, she is good.
She's very
she had to dilute a bit for Impact, but Lucha Underground. Where you see her real stuff.
She's very talented, man. She's very talented. She's gonna be good. And like you say, Eli Drake, formerly known as LA Knight, is. I mean, do you know what? You could just, if he wasn't a wrestler, you just hire him for his voice. He's talking, man. I mean, man, so he's not even wrestled yet, man. But he's on the mic. He's golden, man. Absolute golden.
I do want to talk about one person in particular that caused a little bit of controversy. Is that Brock Lesnar lookalike, Parker Boudreaux? The resemblance for him and Brock Lesnar is absolutely bizarre.
I think he's gonna stink.
You are?
I think he's gonna stink, though. I don't think he's gonna need a lot of training to actually make us invest in him. They need to do, like, if they can't push him and hope for the best, but that's what they'll do. They'll try and push him, but I think he's gonna need a lot of work. Like who's that? The rugby player that got injured. He was awful. I didn't see anything in him that made me want to care. He was going to be part of Pat McCaffrey's faction, and then he got injured. I can't remember his name, but he's a rugby player. Let me look him up whilst you don't.
Yeah. I'm glad LA Knight and Taya Valkyrie are going to NXT and not like. I tell you why they're not going, because I don't think Vince ever heard of them. That's why. That's why they didn't go. That's why they didn't go to main roster. I know what he's like. He wouldn't have heard. He wouldn't have heard of them, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking for. I think I'm looking forward to. For me, I'm looking forward to two of the wrestlers. I'm really looking forward to, and that is Valkyrie and Zoe Stark, because we've seen her perform a little bit, and she for me has shown up. Who else was it? Priscilla Kelly was it? I think it is. She's going as Gigi Dolan now, and then Cora Jade. We saw them in the Women's Dusty Classic Tag Team Championships, and they weren't awful either. Like, I've seen Priscilla Kelly, she used to work. She was in NXT UK, so I'm excited to see. Like, she did a couple of performances in NXT UK when they did like a UK tour. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with recruits. Yeah,
very stacked that women's division's very stacked that women's division.
Vince I can see a lot to retire ASAP.
Yeah, I can see a lot of unfortunately, I can see a lot of call-ups soon from that women's division. Hopefully, they go all to SmackDown. But
who do you think is going to get called? Who do you think is going to get called up?
I think Io Shirai. Definitely, I think Io Shirai. I think Io Shirai will get called up.
Yeah.
Who else? Do you know what? I would see. The problem is, I would say Candice LeRae, but I don't think she will, because I think she'll do a package deal with Gargano.
Johnny Gargano.
I could see Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez going as a pack if they don't split them, going up. Because remember, you've also got like people that are injured, like you got like Tegan Knox to come back after her injury as well. Still to come in that division. That division is, but
it's interesting to see that, like, since, for me, I don't know if you've noticed it, since Shayna Baszler has kind of gone up to Raw and Smack to like the big WWE, Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke have kind of gone off the radar. Like,
I've seen them. Yeah, I've seen them more on up, down, down, or doing Twitch than actually doing anything on there. But they were raw anyway when it comes to the wrestling part. They were very raw. They were like very green. They were very basic when it comes to the wrestling thing. Plus, not Marina Shafir, the other one. She looks. Sorry to say this. She looked a bit ill. Do you know what I mean? Like, she needed some like water or something like that. But she needs some vitamin D or something like that. She looked a bit ill. But I think there's going to be some women's call-ups anyway soon. But what do we know?
Right, I definitely agree.
What I was talking about earlier was Ridge Holland. That was it.
Oh yeah. Ridge Holland.
Yeah.
He's out injured, man. He got a brutal. He got one of the worst. Basically, he got he broke his leg and I think dislocated his knee as well.
Yeah.
After a match,
You just heard it's because it's this toe paint crap, man. Every match you see a toe paint suicida, and it's just getting annoying.
That annoys me. But it's like, but he got a brutal injury, man. I mean, he was supposed to be with Pat McAfee in that storyline. Yeah, he was supposed to be that, but
he was the next jacked up superstar. But
he's supposed to get the rub. He's supposed to get the rub from being associated with Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
But brutal injury, man. Broken leg and dislocated kneecap. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, not great. Will says, I can't lie, I've not watched wrestling in 4 years, but COVID made me get back into it. Slen says, what would your wrestling name be? Well, Laurie's already got his.
I don't know.
Law champion.
I don't know.
No, I can't even remember.
Yeah, I'll have to think of that. I might think about it for next week.
Guys, we will think about that, and we'll come back to you next week.
And we'll put it on the thing instead of like their Twitter handles. We'll just have that. We'll put it on for Fastlane. We'll do it for Fastlane. We'll just have it on like that. So
it will literally just be the wrestling names.
Yeah, be the wrestling name.
When we do our watching long. So guys, if you want to join the watch along, think of your wrestling names, because we are only accepting wrestling names.
You can only come on. And we have to announce you.
Yeah, we have to announce you in the proper.
Yeah. Making his way to the stream.
Pat McAfee was right about Adam Cole. It was a good match between them.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, Pat McAfee. Yeah, it was a good match, man. Pat
You know
McAfee
what?
surprised a lot of
He
people.
surprised me more than I thought he was. I didn't.
But maybe we
he'd
shouldn't
be-
have been, because he's been around it for a couple of years. Do you know what I mean? He's bound to have done some training. Do you know what I mean?
No, 100%. I just wasn't expecting him to
The level.
the level.
I was expecting
like,
Cole to carry him a lot more, man.
Yeah, and he did some fabulous work. Like his aerial work was actually more on point than I thought it was going to be. Like he was doing shit that I didn't think he was going to be doing. You know what? I really enjoyed him. I'm kind of gutted he's kind of gone off the face of the earth at the minute.
Yeah, I think they're going to use him not sparingly, but just not all the time.
Yeah. I'm not even playing. I'm going to be really controversial here. I really, really, really want Ronda Rousey to come back. And I think they should have brought her back while Becky Lynch was away, because she would have held the Raw women's locker room while Becky Lynch has been away. Because right now we've had nothing from it. Like there's no standout leader.
I think her contract is up pretty soon. I think she signed 3 years, and she hasn't been here for 2. And I've got to say, do you know what? As much of a big star she is, that she's not the first name that comes to my mind about a women's division. Because unfortunately, it's like the problem is, because she's Ronda Rousey, you don't see anyone beating her unless you bring in Amanda Nunes. So, something like that, and just like go now. Then I would go, even under wrestling, I would go. Even under wrestling, I would go. Yep, do that.
There's only one person that's beaten her. One person that's beaten her, and that is Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch pinned her at WrestleMania. Yeah. It wasn't supposed to happen like that. It did happen like that.
No. Yeah.
Ronda Rousey got pinned by Becky Lynch.
Then she got pinned and went off.
Literally. But yeah, guys, we have been going.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I'm speaking of women division and whatnot. What do you not think of Molly Holly being inducted to the Hall of Fame? I was like, that was a bit left field for me.
No. I think she
deserves it. Yeah, so do I agree.
Yeah. What keeps surprising me is every year they do a Hall of Fame, because I think really going to get because I think surely they've done nearly everyone, right? But then they keep all the classes. I go, oh yeah, forgot, and it's all been I thought Molly Holly. Yeah, I thought she was one of the staples when they treated the women's division as a joke. I thought she had some good matches.
Yeah, I agree. Right, guys, on that note, we've been going for an hour and a half on wrestling. We hope you've enjoyed it. We have enjoyed it. We will be back next week. What time it works on Andrew's schedules of work, so we will let you know.
Did you want to do another show? Or did you want to just go do the watch along?
Well, we're going to do Fastlane. Fastlane's next week, isn't it?
Yeah, it's next Sunday, yeah. Yeah,
so we're going to do watch along instead of... So there's going to be a Fastlane watch along instead of the show.
Yeah. We can still talk about other things, though, while we're watching.
Yeah. So. We will start a little bit earlier so we can get a discussion in about wrestling and any...
We'll do our own pre-match.
Pre-match on Strong TV.
The pre-match, we'll do the
so we will be doing a live stream watch along for Fastlane next Sunday instead of a show. We will be back the following week after that with the show, but we're having a watch along first. Laurie, where can people find you?
Brother.
On Strong TV. You can find me at Big Gunner every Wednesday. Got Old Gunner Show. And you can find me on Twitter. The handle is right there.
And guys, make sure you subscribe. Follow this man. He literally follows everybody. He bigs everybody up. He is literally like the most incredible human being.
He's everyone's hype man. That's what he is.
Literally, he's the biggest hype man ever. Yeah. He's everyone's hype man. So make sure you give him.
He should start charging.
Literally. I'll check out his shows as well. Yes. You'll also find him on here most of the time too.
Lord Champion.
Lord Champion. Make sure you check him out. Andrew, where can people find you?
On this channel for 2 watch-alongs now for Chelsea and wrestling show, obviously, when I can on the Everything But football show, which I think it's aka the Geek Show. It's turned out to be Nerd Nation. I go on for GNA TV debates. Was on the First 11 Fraud Watch this weekend. I'm in the chats. That's my Twitter handle. You can try and bait me out, but it doesn't work. But you can try. It's all good. But mostly on KH No Filter Football. We're on that. We're on the 40 subs away from 1K. So we're on the road there. Yeah, it is. Yeah. If you want, if you want, it's in the title, no filter. So we're not going to sugarcoat it. Do you know what I mean?
There's no sugarcoating.
There's no sugarcoating, and if you don't like it, then well.
Then you're silly. You have wrong opinions. If you don't like it, you have wrong opinions.
Yeah, tell your mums for Mother's Day to subscribe to it. That would help us as well.
Yeah, guys, make sure you follow KH No Filter. Make sure you subscribe to KH No Filter. You follow them on Twitter, subscribe to them on YouTube. Yeah, like every single one of their videos. Subscribe to Laurie. Follow Laurie. Subscribe to him. Make sure you know what he's doing all the time. Make sure you check out his Away Days show because it's fabulous. Make sure you check out everything he does and everything Andrew does. And make sure you subscribe to Strong TV. Give this video a like. It's free. Doesn't cost anything. And we will see you next week for the watch along.